Hello and welcome to Numeristical, bringing you the picks of the day for Thursday, September 19th. It is 8:40 a.m. here in California, 11:40 a.m. East Coast US time. Let's start as always by reviewing the picks from last time. So we had one pick yesterday. It was the Rockies. They lost as an underdog. So we lost 1 unit, down 1.52 units for the season combined totals and money line. Totals model is up 10.42 units. The money line model is down 11.95 units. We had no bets on the spread. Spreads model remains down 6 units for the season. Let's get into today's action, starting with the money lines. So here are the games we're looking at for today and the model's probabilities on each of them. And after going through our filters, the model is telling us to look at 4 home teams and 1 away team. First home team it likes is the Marlins hosting the Dodgers. It doesn't really like them, but thinks they're maybe not as bad an underdog as Vegas does. So model puts them at 42.7% to win, which translates giving a little cushion into betting them if you can get 165. And it looks like they're showing 185 already. So let's take a look. Miami Marlins. And yeah, you see we can get as high as 191 here at Heritage. So let's go ahead and do that. Marlins plus 191. Next up, the Mets hosting the Phillies. The model says take the Mets if you can get minus 123. Let's take a look, see what we can get. Minus 123. We're getting minus 128, but not quite minus 123. So not quite good enough to bet on that one. Next up, Brewers hosting the Diamondbacks. Model says take the Brewers at plus 101. Thinks they're 54.8% to win. So let's see if we can get the Brewers at plus 101. And yeah, you see we can get the Brewers as good as 104 here at Bet Online. So go ahead and take the Brewers plus 104. Next up, the Nationals visiting the Cubs. Model says take the Cubs if you can get minus 153. Let's take a look. Cubs, we've got minus 157. That just popped up here. So actually the line's moving the opposite direction. But still, we're not getting a minus 153, which is what the model wants. So no bet there. And finally, one away team is the Angels visiting the Astros. Model thinks the Astros will win 67% of the time. So it means take the Angels if you can get 261, building in a little bit of a cushion. So model says take the Angels at 261 if you can get it. And you see we got 264 here at Circa. So we'll go ahead and do that. Angels plus 264. And, I think one thing that's missing from the model that Vegas is factoring in, and we'll see how big a factor it is a lot of these bad teams now have really nothing to play for, whereas a team like the Astros is still fighting for a playoff spot and positioning potentially within the standings. So that might be a little bit of what's going on here in terms of the discrepancies between the models and the Vegas lines. Let's move on to the totals model. Here are the games and the points and the probabilities. And the model is telling us to take a look at 2 unders. First under is the Marlins-Dodgers game again. The point is 8. Model likes the under, has the under at 63%. So it says to bet it if you get even minus 125. And it's showing minus 102, so we should be able to find a bet here. Let's click over to totals. Marlins, Dodgers, 8 under, and in fact we get even money on the 8 under. So let's go ahead and do that. Dodgers and Marlins, 8 under at even money. Oops. Dodgers, Marlins, 8 under even money. Okay. And there's even an 8.5 under it, minus 117. But whatever, I already marked this down. Let me just leave it there. Next up, the Astros and Angels. Point is 8.5. Miles says it's worth about at even money. Let's take a look. And 8.5, we're not getting even money on the 8.5. We're getting even money on the 8. We're getting plus 105 on the 8, but not even money on the 8.5. So no bet there. So it looks like just the one bet on the totals. There's also the 8.5 minus 115 available. It looks like at on the other game, on the Dodgers Marlins, at minus 117. But we'll leave the one we have. Let's move on to the spreads model. Here are the probabilities against the spread for the games we're looking at. Model is telling us to look at 3 home teams. Again, a lot of the same games we already looked at. Marlins plus 1.5. It says to take it if you can get minus 102 or better. Let's take a look. Marlins plus 1.5. You can get plus 107, plus 109 at Bookmaker. So we'll do that. Marlins plus 1.5, plus 109. Marlins plus 1.5, plus 109. Next up, Phillies Mets again. Mets minus 1.5. It says take it at plus 170. Mets minus 1.5, but we're not getting a plus 170. We're getting a plus 157. So no bet there. And finally, the Diamondbacks Brewers. Says the Brewers plus 1.5 to take it if you get minus 154. Brewers plus 1.5. Getting minus 160, but not minus 154. So no bet. So it looks like today we got 3 on the money line. The Marlins plus 191, the Brewers plus 104, the Angels plus 264. We got the Dodgers Marlins under 8 at even money on the totals. And we got the Marlins plus 1.5, plus 109 against the spread. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.